This used to be called Integrated Customer-Centric Strategy. I think that's even the title of this presentation. But I've been thinking about that the last months, and it's wrong. Integrated Customer-Centric Strategy is an internal focus. We are going to be integrated in our customer-centric strategy. But do you think my 16 or 18-year-old kids, or for that matter, your spouses or children or grandchildren, whatever, customers, do you think they care about what you're doing? And the answer is no, they don't. What they care about is being delighted by what you're doing. And so I'm going to call this session not Integrated Customer-Centric Strategy, but Delighted Customer Strategy. And it consists, I want to explain this, I'm going to go into great detail in part 2 of today's presentation, but it's worthy of just about here. It's my humble observation that unless you have a strategic mindset and roadmap in place, you're not going to succeed in thriving in the digital deluge. So what does that strategy look like? It's broken up into 3 components. The first component is down the bottom. That consists of gathering data and putting it in a way that is useful so that you can then target customers, drive good customer experience, create the journey maps that people talk about. What is that data? There's 3 components. The first piece is your, what might be called transactional data. It could be ERP systems. It could be point of sale systems. It could be loyalty programs. The second piece of data, if you will, is your CRM system. It has sales information, pipeline, customer service, incident management. It has marketing, campaign management, a whole bunch of information about either what the customer would like or you're doing with the customer and how they're reacting. The third component on the data side is that of third-party data. Now, we know the demographic overlays, as it's called, data overlays from Experian or Axiom, but there are many, many third-party data providers that really get into specific detail. If you love wine, there's tremendous databases on wine lovers and who are they and what makes them tick and so forth. So the good strategy thinks, we need to take these 3 pieces of data and bring them into the core concept behind a delighted customer strategy, and that is a holistic customer profile. And the holistic customer profile is a 360-degree view of the customer. It's all that we know about the customer that pulls together these 3 pieces of data. Now, I'm going to stop for a minute. It's not really the purpose of today, but I want to just talk for a minute about something called identity resolution. How many of you in the room, please raise your hand, know what the new technology of identity resolution is? Please raise your hands. Okay, see, this doesn't surprise me. That's why I said I want to stop for a minute. It's coming out of Silicon Valley. It's companies like LiveRamp. It's companies like Oracle's BlueKai and many others. It's about a year and a half old. It will revolutionize the entire way we do business in the future. And here's what it does. It integrates online and offline data. So I'm going to get into this in a minute, a little bit later on, but I'm a Jaguar fan. I have several old Jaguars. That's what I like to do with my extra cash. And Jaguar knows me because I buy the cars at Jaguar. They service the cars at Jaguar. They know my email and my telephone number. They know all about me offline. When I service the car, whether I have a lease on the car, when does a lease expire, offline. But Bart is a very avid Jaguar fan, and I spend an awful lot of time on social media sites that deal with Jaguar, including Jaguar's social media site and other media sites. I also spend a lot of time on Jaguar's website and other Jaguar websites. And I talk to fellow Jaguar enthusiasts, and we share stories, and I say I'm about to buy a new car, or I don't like this, or I wish they had that, and everybody else does. But Jaguar doesn't know that that's Bart on those websites or Bart on those social media sites, because I don't come in as Barton Goldenberg. I have my own URL that I come into, and it's coming from my home PC or my kid's PC. They don't know who I am. So if I'm going to be effective in selling or marketing or servicing Bart Goldenberg, would I be smart to use offline data only, that which I know about him? Or would I be smart to integrate the online side of Barton with the offline part of Barton? And the ability to integrate offline and online data is the new technology called identity resolution. For those of you that are not familiar with it, you actually are. You just don't realize it. You visit a website. You go to another website, and all of a sudden an ad from the first website just followed you. You know what I'm talking about? So all they're doing is looking at your cookie bouncing around the web. Or they're looking at your mobile ID off your cell phone, looking at various web or other sites. And the moment that you're anonymous at that point. You don't have to say who you are. You can spend all the time you want looking around. The moment you authenticate on the web, meaning you go to a sports event and say, I want to buy tickets, or you go to Match.com looking for a date, or certain key sites on the web, then they know, cookie number 106 that's Bart Goldenberg. Wait a minute, 106 is all over the web. That's all Bart Goldenberg. Wait a minute, that Bart Goldenberg is the same as offline Bart Goldenberg, and I can put the information together. Now, there's all kinds of privacy rules that are involved in this, and they're very strict. But rest assured, identity resolution is a tremendously valuable concept that integrates online and offline data and allows your profile to be more complete, to be more seamless. How could you possibly create a customer profile that does not include online behavior of a customer today? Only an ostrich with their head in the sand could consider that approach. So this is the bottom piece of the platform, integrated data offline, online, coming from transactional, CRM, and third party into a profile that I'm going to talk a lot more about a bit later on. Sitting on top of that is your data and listening analytics platform, so that I can now look at my profile, cut, sort, stack, segment the various customers, and begin to now pass the right products at the right time to the right customers the way they want to in their proper buying window. That's the bottom of it. When I have my data together, I'm going to use the 4 customer engagement pillars or channels to get my product to market. Many of us spend a lot of time in the traditional media pillar. That is face-to-face meetings. It's the telephone. It's emails. It's it could be focus groups, surveys, or focus groups. There's a variety of different traditional medias that we use. Direct mail is another one, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what we have to do in this channel not only is to bring product through there, we have to have our ears open to listen to what the customer says as feedback to those products. Second channel, social media, both private communities, private branded invitation-only social media communities, and public Facebook or Twitter communities. And again, that's a channel to get our messaging out, to get our products understood, but it's also a fantastic channel to listen to our customers so we can learn what's important to them. The third channel, that of e-commerce, whether it's your website, whether it's portals for individual customers, whether it's your search engine capability, whether it's your shopping cart, whether it's next best offer. These are all digital tools that we use inside the e-commerce channel, both to sell, market, and service our products, but equally important to listen to our customers. The fourth channel that I'd like to just bring to your attention is that of emerging technologies. Most of it is the digital apps or mobile apps that most people talk about, but it's much more than that. It's the wearables if you're in the consumer industry. It's the Internet of Things if you're in the B2B community. It's all some of the new technologies around virtual reality and augmented reality, around personalized video, around addressable TV. These are all technologies that allow us to reach our customers with products and services and market effectively and sell effectively and service them effectively. So now the question is, okay, I've got these channels that sit on top of my data. If I'm clever and I've got a strategy in place, I'm listening. I'm not just pushing product through these channels. I'm listening to what the customer says in the private social media community, on my website, what mobile apps they're using at what time and where they're located. And all of that allows me to bring that information down into my profile so I'm a smarter, better listener to my customer and can react appropriately. And then I apply my data analytics layer on the profile and come out with better and better digital media or traditional media offerings. So for example, I listen to somebody on social media sites say, you know, I really wish that they offered so-and-so. Well, that might now become what I'm offering on my e-commerce site. Or I see that people are spending an awful lot of time on a particular area of my website. That might become a topic in my social media community. Or I'm sending out traditional mail and I see people are particularly attracted to something and they're mentioning they really wish it were digital. Well, I might use some emerging technology to address that need. So these channels are no longer siloed. Rather, these channels are integrated. And again, the strategy has to think, how do I then integrate my different channels of listening or my channels of distribution so that I can be a smarter listener and understander of what's important to my customer. If we do this effectively, folks, what that does, it drives better customer acquisition, better customer retention, and customer growth. And that's the strategic component of thriving in the digital deluge. Now, not every company is going to have all of these components. Many of them will have some of them, maybe all of them. They may not all be integrated. They may not all be optimized. But there is a starting point for every one of your companies in thriving in this digital deluge. My feeling is until you have thought this through, what channels do we want to use? Or what channels do we use? What do we want to use? Until we've thought through what data do we gather? What data should we gather? Until you've thought through online or offline data or using identity resolution as a vehicle to bring the two together. Until you've thought through what data and listening platform do I need to put into place so I can understand our customers better and thrive, and allow us to thrive in the digital deluge. I don't know how you can move forward. I always kind of have to start with the big picture roadmap. That's the first ingredient in thriving in the digital deluge.